We have, I think it's a beautiful, I think an elegant service today. We have some music, some Bible readings, and then I'll give a kind of an overall picture of her life, and then I'll invite anyone that would like to come up and just say a few words about how maybe she's touched your life. And I'd like to begin with a word of prayer. You can all bow our heads. Dearest Lord, we give you thanks for the life of this individual known to us as Julie May Hill. She is now safely with thee on the other side of the veil, being comforted by you, finally free of the terrible pain she's been experiencing for too long, in which it finally become intolerable. We thank you for comforting and healing her and letting her know that everything is okay, that we understand, as she now begins her journey on the other side. We thank you for this opportunity to come together to honor our feelings, our sadness about Julie, and also to celebrate her life. And so it is in thy name that we do pray. Amen. Okay. We now are going to have a 23rd song by Sharon Sullivan. These are songs that were asked by William and Young.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
It's going to be a different language song. It's a God song too.
We're doing it young,
I don't know about you, but I can just see Julie on the other side smiling and even dancing with that music. Okay, now we're going to have the 46th song. James Jackson's going to share that with us.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he had made upon the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, he cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen, and I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah.
You
Thank you, that was beautiful. I didn't understand a word, but I could feel the energy.
Then it come to find a very blessing.
Okay,
Till my heart to sing that grace.
beautiful, beautiful, thank you. Okay, I'd like to just say a few words about Julie. I first met Julie here at the Fellowship in Light about 2007, and she came here with a young man named Bull Doot. And Bull Doot was yay tall, and they gave a talk to us about what Julie was doing in Norfolk with the Outreach Africa. And when Bull Doot told his story about what all the lost boys, so-called, did just to had to go through just to get here, our hearts were moved, and many of us at that time began giving quarterly payments to support the refugees at the camps over in Kenya. And as recently as last month, I got my quarterly letter from Julie saying, it's time for me to give my quarterly payment, Bruce, and which I was certainly, been so happy to be able to do that myself and many other people. And Julie made all that possible. And so I knew a lot about Julie with her work with Outreach Africa, but I didn't really know anything about the rest of her life. And so to do that, I reached out to some people that did know about her past. And the first person I talked to was Anya Perut. I think I may not have said the name right, but she's the bookkeeper for Outreach Africa. And she said, Bruce, instead of me just telling you on the phone, why don't I just write to you and tell you, what my thoughts about Julie. And her letter was written so well, I thought I'd just share the letter, just read the letter to you. It's just so well written, it covers a lot of bases. She says, Julie was an only child born to Paul and Frances Hoback Hill. Both of her parents worked for NASA. Her father was a very creative inventor, and her mother was one of the original human computers, meaning she did a lot of mathematics. Julie, ever curious, had their same creative, analytical mind. For the past almost 20 years, she has been using that mind to help others. She often navigated the most complex and critical situations in Africa, all from her living room because of her tenacity and ability to pursue a rabbit hole until it brought her to where she needed to be. Julie was an adventurous soul. She loved to travel and have new experiences. Her longtime friend Linda McCall was her travel buddy as they backpacked through Europe and brought back memories and wild tales. They maintained their close relationship for years and continued to visit each other as often as they could, even though Linda lives in Texas. This friendship was very dear to Julie. Julie also had a very close group of friends who became family to her. Frank Henderson, Jim King, Tim Britt, also known as Dixie, and Ray Knight, who also passed away recently. They have all been friends since the 70s. In early years, they adventured and lived together. In later years, they continued to share life together through the ups and downs. They would often spend several weeks, she would often spend several weeks with Frank and Jim when her heart felt heavy or when she wanted to enjoy some really good meals. Julie absolutely delighted in delicious food. They celebrated holidays often together. She is missed dearly by them. They loved her. She has many other dear friends in the Norfolk area who became a rock to her. People whom she loved dearly and who were a tremendous gift to her. It can be said without a doubt that she has left a very large hole. Julie had a college degree in horticulture. She could spout off the Latin names of most plants, cherished her indoor plants, and poured her heart into creating beautiful gardens for the people she loved. Most recently, she created a beautiful Japanese-inspired garden for all of her neighbors and friends at the Harrington House where she lived. It filled her heart to do this for them. Julie treasured her two cats, Pierre and Gigi. They brought her tremendous joy. Pierre has passed away. Carol Duckett, another good friend of Julie's, lovingly found Gigi a home when Julie passed. And so she gave some, that was what Anja shared with us. I thought it was pretty interesting and well stated. So she told us a little bit about her life, but still didn't have information about her younger life. And so for that, I talked to a woman named Robin Gresham Shin, who lives up in southern New Jersey. Neither she nor Anja can come today. And so we had a nice long talk about Julie's younger life. She said that both she and Julie graduated from Hampton High School together, but they didn't really know each other at Hampton High School. She got to know Julie when Julie was at Virginia Commonwealth University during her first year. That's a renowned art school, was then and is now. And she said Julie was a highly talented artist, and she was so talented she could have made art her career path had she chosen to. She said that, most interestingly, she said Julie was really always interested in anthropology, particularly African anthropology. At VCU, her favorite book there was called The Forest People, which was all about the African pygmies. So she had an interest going way back in Africa and the people that lived there. And this is very interesting. Robin said that Julie, when at VCU, she was, quote, very, very pretty, end quote. She says, everybody knew this about Julie except Julie. Like so many of us, she was her own worst self-critic. And, we're not perfect, so something wrong with me. I'm not perfect, But she was a very beautiful young woman. While in her 20s, Robin found herself as a teacher in Hampton. Both her and Julie moved back to Hampton, and she was a teacher, and she said that they had an influx of Cambodian refugees who had just escaped the Khmer Rouge. It was a terrible time in Cambodia. They came to Hampton to live, and they didn't speak the language, and so she knew the students, and she went to the homes as Robin, and got to know their needs, and then she started spending a lot of time helping them. And of course, Julie found out about this, and what do you think Julie did? Julie joined right in, even more so, she said. And she said Julie sometimes would spend the entire night on the phone trying to get medical services for these Cambodian refugees who were so deeply in need of help. And that was Julie. And she said that Julie gave everything she had, including most of her money. And that pattern continued in her social service work throughout her life. Robin said that over time, Julie learned that to the extent she gave to others, she herself felt greatly rewarded. And I think that really motivated her just to keep going, keep going, keep going. Robin wasn't clear about the exact date, but she believes it was in the early 30s that Julie had her first accident, and she had that's when her history of chronic pain began. So she's been dealing with chronic pain all her life. And I personally, professionally, have known many people suffering from chronic pain, and it's really unbelievable. You know, it's 24/7, it never lets up. I'd ask them, on a 10-point scale, how bad is your pain? And just about all of them would say a 6 or a 7 on an average day. And so Julie was dealing with that all these years, and she tried surgery and medicines and everything, and nothing seemed to work. I understand she had surgery as late as, I think, December, and then it worked, and then she fell, and the pain started up again. I think that's when she kind of gave up. And I certainly understand that, and I hope everyone here does. I think we all do. For that reason, because of what happened in the 30s, she couldn't maintain regular employment. I was told that her home was, and I'm sure many of you have been there, was immaculately decorated. And she included a great collection of decorative art. Robin concluded the interview by saying that Julie was truly an amazing person on many levels. She loved people very deeply and was one of the most forgiving people I've ever known. And I think anybody that knows Julie knows that to be true. I also spoke with William Mayon and Jaap Jurkett, who told me about how Outreach Africa started. And I'm going to let them tell that story. They'll be up here in a moment to share that story of how it all started and how much that she helped them and so many other of the South Sudanese. At this time, I'd like to, we're going to have a song, and then I'm going to invite some folks to come up, and this time we're going to sing Amazing Grace. It's found on page 25 in your songbooks, and Jaap and William said the way they'd like to do this is first we'll sing the song through in English, and then they're going to sing it through in their language. Okay? So that'll be fun. You guys want to come up and be ready to sing? Sing it in the language that you like? You can come up right now if you want. It should be up here.
In English,
You can come up right now.
or just come up.
Come up afterwards.
Okay. All right, so if you didn't catch that, there are some songbooks around you can share, and it's on page 25. We'll do all 4 verses, and then we'll look, like we said, forward to hearing the other version as well. Let's go. You can stand if you want, but you don't have to. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Many dangers, toils, and snares I have already known. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we live there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to see God's grace and
Jerry Teplett's up now. He's going to share a few words.
So if I get some tears, just breathe with me, please. So I'm on the Vice President of the Fellowship of the Inner Light Board of Directors, and I'm also the Recording Secretary for Outreach Africa. And so I work with Julie and Anya, who was did the finance side for many, many years. And I want to share about Outreach Africa, and William, we didn't have a chance to talk beforehand, so I may be saying some of what you're going to say, so I apologize. Kind of the way Outreach Africa came about is Julie went into a grocery store, and she saw these two baggers there, and she said, they gotta be Dinkas. Tall, dark, they gotta be Dinkas. She didn't say anything, but she came back again, and she went to them and said, are you Dinkas? And they were shocked that somebody recognized them for who they are. And in talking to them, she found out that they were working 2 and 3 jobs, not to support themselves, but to support relatives back in Africa. That was the birth of Outreach Africa. Julie and I think William and Bill Dutt, I'm not exactly sure who, started going to churches and looking to have people sign up to support the kids going to school over there. And there was a showing of the film Lost Boys Sudan at the ARE, and my wife Elizabeth and I went to it. And for those who don't know the story at all, it's where Sudan was once one country, and part of it was Christian, part of it was Muslims, and the Muslims hated the Christians, and Dinkas were Christians, and they started just killing all the Dinkas that they could find. And kids ran into the bush to avoid being killed, and it wound up with 20,000 of them walking, I think it was around 1,200 miles to get to a safe country. And many were lost on the way, starvation. They literally just had the clothes on their back. And so that was the film that they were showing at the ARE. And then Julie spoke about looking to put kids in school, and I think it was Bull, and again, William may have been there talking about the program. And I had tears streaming down. The president of the fellowship board was at that filming. David Hamilton, I went up to him and I said, we got to do something about it. So Julie got invited here, and she spoke, and I think it was Bill who spoke. And we're a small church. This is not a real big church. And we had a dozen kids sponsored from this church. And Julie said, this is far beyond what the big churches have done. This little baby church created people to go to school. And every 6 months or so was a new semester, and that was extremely stressful for Julie because she had to keep finding donors each time. There were people who were the sponsors, but there were kids who didn't have sponsorship, and kids who were growing and were getting ready to go to school. And so it was extremely stressful. For those who got the emails from her, you know, where it said, well, we're down to 6. We only need 6 more sponsors. Oh, we're down to 3. We only need 3 more sponsors. And somehow she got the sponsors. You know, that was part of the miracle of Julie. She also discovered the whole Dinka community over in Newport News. And she discovered the needs that they had on all kinds of aspects. And somehow she got dentists to give free treatments, medical doctors to give treatments, lawyers to give advice, free. You know, people don't do that. You know, professionals, they don't necessarily do that, but with Julie, they didn't have a choice, period. Elizabeth and I took on a student, sponsored a student. Julie came to us and said, we got this guy, he's 19, and he wants to start school with kindergarten. Are you willing to sponsor him? And we thought about it, and we said, yes. So that was Dana Kwa, and in 7 years, he finished 12 grades of school. He went on to get to college. At that point, the fellowship helped us support it because it was too much for us to support him in college. And then he went on to get an advanced degree in public health. He's been having difficulty getting a job because when you're in a country as a refugee, you cannot work there. And so the difficulty has been tremendous. But just to give you a flavor for him, one of his cousins was kind of kidnapped by a family who had a farm, and they were forcing him to work on the farm. And Dane found out about it. He took multiple buses and rescued his nephew, brought him back to, I think it was Juba. They changed his name, they hid him out, and so he was then able to go to school himself. Dane recently took on the oil companies there and the chaos that they caused and filed a lawsuit. He had to back off of it because the generals, the military generals said, back off. But to put yourself out that way is really tremendous. There are lots of medical needs that wound up popping up. So it wasn't just sending the kids to school, but there were kids who were having life-threatening illnesses. And over there, you pay first before you're going to get any treatment at all. And I don't know that we lost any kids, but we had some that were incredibly difficult cases. We have an orphanage that Anya started, and Julie's been supporting in Outreach Africa. It's an orphanage, and there are 60 kids there. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. The church here is supporting about a dozen kids in the Karuma camp in Kenya in terms of food. So we've been doing that. There's also several donors who are supporting 40 other kids who are in that camp. And they're funneling their money through Outreach Africa to make it happen. So what has Outreach Africa accomplished? Well, Anya sent me some figures and kind of blew my mind. From the Stardom Corporation, we've raised $2.5 million. have graduated from grammar school and high school 160 kids. We have 25 graduates who went into college and postgraduate training. Fields of study, careers of those 25 have included nursing, becoming a doctor, agriculture, accounting, business, public health, mechanical engineering, education, jobs with government offices, Doctors Without Borders, and it's like Julie created that. One person created that. Now, a lot of the funds have gone also to the local refugees, families overseas, housing, emergency, medical aid, evacuation assistance. We actually moved families around when they were threatened by what was going on in Africa, whole families. And Julie created the money for that. I was the observer in a lot of this. While I was on the board, I was more the observer than the active person, like Julie was. And at the Omar Purdy Children's Home, which is in Kenya, the donations provided regular food assistance, paid for a deep water well, provided electricity, sanitary needs for, as I said, around 60 orphans there. What can't be qualified with dollar amounts are the untold hours she spent networking and problem solving to do what she could to get people what they needed. And her pain was incredible. And her ability to continue functioning. There was one time where she was laid down on her stomach and she could not get up for like weeks. And she kept functioning. Now, we still have around 15 kids that we're supporting at various levels of schooling for them. We have a need for somebody to be on the board. Jeff, would you start passing papers and pens out? We're going to be passing papers and pens out. Totally up to you, but we have some needs as an organization, and you can put down what you'd like to do. I'm going to tell you now what we're looking for. One is somebody to be on the board of directors. We are required to, I believe, have 3 people on the board. The board doesn't take a lot of time. We meet maybe, usually it was once a year, maybe once every other year we'd finally meet. But it was, we may have to meet a little bit more often, but it's not going to be burdensome. So if you're interested in serving on the board, put your name, your email, phone number, and we'll contact you on that. The other part is, while we do have things pretty much taken care of, stuff happens. The unexpected, the kid who broke his leg over there and needs to go for a doctor. So on the form, if you would like to be what we'll call a regular donor, just write regular donor, don't have to put an amount. If we need the help, we'll contact you. If you want to be just a one-time donor, if we need something, again, don't put the amount down, we'll contact you on that. And if anybody wants to actually physically donate today, there's a basket by the side door over there. You can do that. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because Julie's not here. And in terms of contacting folks and getting people who can support this, it's called We Need Your Assistance in This. And if you can, both short-term, long-term, as I said, want to be on the board, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I think this is what Julie is wanting me to do in terms of sharing with you. So, I view Julie You folks are all familiar with Mother Teresa and the work that she did, I believe it was in Calcutta. Well, Julie, I believe, is the Mother Teresa of the Sudanese in Hampton Roads. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Jerry only got discharged from the hospital last Monday after a 2-week stay from a very serious illness, and so we're so happy that Jerry is back with us. Let's give Jerry a round of applause. All right, so now I invite some people to come up, and let's start with William and Yock. And if we could all just be conscious of the time so that other people can speak, that would be good. Okay, thank you.
I will start by reading this letter that Julie wrote to us, me and my wife and my kids. Dear Yak Jurkuch, you are the greatest joy of my life. You and Aluel are the son and daughter of my heart. My heart is full and my life is complete, knowing that you now have each other and your beautiful children, and that you have honored me as their grandmother, Kokok, in Dinka. I'm beyond blessed. If you are receiving this message, it is because I could not endure the intense pain and disability which have become much worse since the beginning of January. There is nothing more to be done for it. This pain is now constant in any position. I try, and no matter what medication I take. And unfortunately, no amount of love or care offered from my loved ones and friends would bring me any relief now. My life has been full of love and friendship and opportunity to serve others. I have been very blessed and feel my life is complete. I believe in God and His mercy, and that Spirit continue on. So do not mourn for me, but celebrate my life and the love we have shared. I ask and pray that you and your beloved family will always think of me in life and not my passing. With all my love and in God love, Mom, Julie, Kokok. Julie Hill and I met at Harris Theater on Colonial Avenue in Norfolk in early 2002. My job at Harris Theater was to put groceries in the bag for customers. And at that time, my English was almost at zero. However, I'm sorry. However, I was trained to make sure I greet and thanks customers. I'm going to try.
You can practice it, you can.
I'm done, so I can put myself together.
Sorry, Good afternoon. For most of you who don't know me, my name is Mawood. I am not from the Hampton Road area. I am from Richmond, Virginia. I came to the United States back in 2000 at the age of 14. There in Richmond, we were sponsored by the Commonwealth Catholic Charities. At that time, they placed me in a foster home. So that's why I grew up there. In terms of my relationship with Julia May Hills, as most of you know, Julia is a person who is herself, a person whom, if you ask me, how would you describe Julia? I would say Julia is like a light in the darkness, that when you cannot see anything, and there's light and you'll be able to see. I would say Julia is like light in the darkness. Wherever she goes, she makes the whole place shine with her knowledge. As one of the speakers said earlier, to us as a community, Julia is like a living encyclopedia of knowledge. It could be a legal issue, a medical issue, immigration issue, you name it, Julia would have the answer. I am not going to take my time, because if I were to come here and tell you everything that I know about Julia, we'll be here for days. But I will cut it down. I can say myself that when I heard the news, William called me and he told me what happened. I was driving to work, and then I just parked my car, tried to process what he told me. I paused for a minute, and then I opened my eye and called William and said, William, am I like dreaming, or is this real? And he said, it's real, you're not dreaming. One thing I want to say is that I know Julia is in a good place, and we will not mourn Julia. The reason for the tears and the ache in our heart is the picture that we can see of Julia. Her smiles every time you say something to her. Her good heart of listening to you, to these people that don't speak the language very well, but she has the patience to listen with her heart and her ears and her mind, and try to come up with a solution to whatever story you tell Julia. So I'm not going to take my time, but I just want to tell all of you that we are here today to honor Julia's life and remember her legacy and celebrate everything that he has done. The few songs that we sang earlier, I'm sorry that we did not translate them. One of the songs was saying that Don Chibane Nyotagam. That what that song meant is that when the death comes, it's a revelation of faith. That we were from this dust from the beginning, and we shall return to the same dust at the end. So for those of you that fear death, do not fear death, because that's the beginning of the faith. So, Brother Yak, all of us remember Julia, and we respect Julia. And everything happened for a reason, that will keep being strong, and that we pray that God will proceed.
I'm sorry, but I'm good right now. Okay, I'm gonna start over. Julie Hill and I met at Harris Theater on Colonial Avenue in Norfolk in early 2002. My job at Harris Theater was to put groceries in the bag for customers. And at that time, my English was almost at zero, so I just know a little bit, but it wasn't enough. However, I was trained to make sure I greet and thank customers, and on top of that, the store management allow a short moment of interaction with customers. One day, Julie Hill came to Harris Theater and walked up to me and asked, "Are you a Dinka?" I was shocked, but filled with curiosity. How did she know I was Dinka? I was amazed because many Americans have no idea where Sudan or South Sudan is, leave alone knowing tribe living in that part of the world. A little moment later, I replied, "Yes, I'm a Dinka." Julie goes, "Where do you live?" I replied, "We live on Redgate." Julie, "Can I have your home phone number?" I replied, "Yes." On the second day, I introduced my roommate and co-worker at Harris Theater, John McCain. We gave Julie our phone number, and she called us and gave us we gave her our address immediately. Right away, Julie came to our apartment, and that is how it all started. After knowing us, we introduced Julie to our friend on Baldwin Avenue. John Matar was here, Simon Cho, David Bing, and Dana Wu. In a short period of time, Julie was able to meet all the lost boys living in the area. And immediately Julie began her work with us. We used to call her our taxi because she was busy taking us to job interviews and helping us with job application. Julie was our doctor before the actual doctor at doctor's office. She would ask, what was going on with us and stuff. Again and again, Julie was there for us day and night. Julie was a hardworking person I ever known. She was dealing with a bunch of lost boys with a lot of challenges. She helped many Sudanese people with immigration situations, such as asylum seekers, students applying from Africa to get into universities in the United States. Some went to Stanford and other universities, and Julie helped write their application, and they were accepted. In 2007, Julie started Outreach Africa Lost Boy Foundation, and she reached out to our generous and kind-hearted people of Hampton Road. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for helping Julie achieving her dream of helping others. Through outreach, many students, relatives of lost boys were sponsored into school in Kenya and Uganda. God brought Julie Hill into my life for a purpose. I lost my biological mother when I was only 5 years old. Mother Julie became the best mother I could ask for. I'm a good person in this country because Mother Julie taught me to be responsible. She would ask me, "Did you take your flu shot? Did you take your COVID shot? Are you taking your vitamin D?" Because I live in Iowa. It's very cold over there. And she makes sure I take my wife out for birthday and not to forget about Valentine's Day. This is a very difficult loss for me and my family. A few days ago, my 4-year-old daughter saw a picture of Julie and me. I don't want to go there again. While I was talking with her through Messenger, she goes, "Grandma!" And I asked, "Daddy, where is Grandma?" I did not know how to tell her. I chose to change to another topic. Last week at the church, this church, there was a quote from the teaching. I think that quote came from Buddha. It said, thousand of candles can be lit from a single candle. Friends who are here, Julie Hill is our single candle that lit light in many lives, and the light will shine forever among the people she touched with her love. My mother, Julie May Hill, we love you and we will remember you for the rest of our life. Rest in peace, love. Your son, Yak Cho Jukuj. Thank you.
It is difficult for all of us, even though we are grown people. Many years ago, Julie brought us to this church. I was here, William, and we were sitting here. So when I came inside early, I looked at the church and said, "This is the church Julie brought us many years ago." I don't know, I can't remember the year, but I'm getting old too, like everybody else. At least 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I can't remember. So we were sitting here, and then we were giving a chance to dance. We were dancing and singing. So Julie, you brought us here many years ago, and you brought us back. We love you. So Julie, as Jacob said, when we met her 2002, back then we were afraid to meet Americans. And we started in Kakuma. Jacob and I and Miranda, we came on the same day. So in Kakuma, they put people in line. It was Jacob here, then me, and a bunch of other boys. So when we arrived in New York, that's where the confusion began. Real began. We didn't know where to go next. So somebody from IOM sent us to say, "Go to exit 19. And many of those boys, they were split. Everybody else was going to where state they are going. And Jacob and I and many others like Ale Chol, Deng Awu, Deng David, we were told that we are going to Norfolk. So we were like, at least we are still together. We arrived in Norfolk, and back then we have a Reverend Mario told me early that he passed away, Jim Sell. Jim Sell and people from Bless and people from Masai Church and people from South Pole, they went to collect us in the airport. So we went to the car and we all go our own way. We didn't know that we would see each other again. But American is big at the same time is small. A week later on, Julie met Jacob and Joe, and Julie came to our apartment. She introduced herself to us. "Oh, Julie, yes. What is your name?" "I'm John." They know. And then that's how she got in our life. Since that time, Julia has done a lot to us, not only here, but the people in Africa, especially the Irish program, many kids that she touched. She has touched a lot of people's lives. So we are going to miss Julie, But Julie knows that the community love her because all of us here now. She would call everybody, like Jacob said, tell us, hey, take you guys, because our pigment, we need more sun to get vitamin D. She would let us know. So that's Julie. Julie was our Uber driver, was our taxi, was our mother, our aunt, and Julie. If you want to get something, send Julie. Even Julie, we can send Julie to negotiate with King Jong-un, and we will get that. You will never turn Julie down. You will never turn Julie down. So I came from DC, Northern Virginia. So William was the one who informed us about the passing. And you can see Jerry took all our words. He knows the history. I don't even know what good thing to say to Julie. She was a mother, and we love her. And Julie is not here with us, but he's in our heart. Also, I've seen our friend Mary Ashin. She was one who volunteered. I see Mark there, Mariel, and many. It's 20 years ago, 24 years ago. So we thank you all for coming, and may God rest our mother, our friend, our sister, our guidance, our everything in peace. That's all I can say.
Greeting to all of you. I hope you can hear me. I have a low voice. But I'm not going to talk a lot because a lot have been said, and if I were to say it over and over, then it will be a repetition. And there's no need of repeating things. You guys have been sitting down for too long. Thank you so much for coming. The way we met Julie have been said already, and a lot of things that Julie has done have been said. So Julie was an angel. When we go outside today, when I heard of Julie, I thought I was dreaming. That day I got sick. I was checking so much and I got cold and I was sick when I heard. I thought, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. She was sick and I didn't even know. She was in the hospital. I was so confused, as some of us was. But as we can see or as we have heard what she has done, just one individual. We are on this planet temporarily. We are not permanent here. We came here and we will leave one day. So as we go out today, it's a question I ask myself when I just reflect back on things Julie has done. I ask myself, am I doing enough for my human people? I guess that's a question all of us will. I'm sorry. I guess that's a question all of us will ask when we go out here. Am I doing enough for my human being? For my brother who has nothing, who do not have the opportunity that I have? Am I doing my part as somebody who's going to leave one day? Because the work we will do here is what we will be paid when we go out there. So Julie's a blessed one. She has done her part. We are just so sad that she has left. We have never done anything to her. Even just to. We have not done anything to her directly. But what we will do for the next person, that will make Julie smile. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the service. Thank you, Father, for what you have done for hosting the service today. And all of the friends who have involved in helping Julie put a lot of kids to school, get a lot of kids to the hospital who almost died, have fed so many families and so many children. So when you go out today, ask yourself, am I doing my part on this earth, that I'm here temporarily? While I'm here, am I doing everything that I can to help others? Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is William Ayon. I will just say a few things. We have lost an angel, and God will point another angel among you. We are open again. We are open again. But with God, we will get another parent again. I want to say thank you, Jerry. You put it together. We, the Lord boy and the Lord girls, the struggle continues. But so many Americans, God assigned them to help us in one way or another. There were people that God put in Julie Hill's dream to help me out. One of them is Mary Abbott, right there. Mary, can you raise your hand? Mariel is down there. Mariel, right there. We have Darlene. Darlene here. We have people like Bruce and the church here. We have St. Andrew's Episcopal Church. Then here is Pat Hart here. These are the people behind the closed door helping Outreach Africa Lost Boy Foundation. We have G right here. We have Tim to go right there with his wife. When Julie passed away, it was Carol Duncan that called Tim and said, Tim, I've been calling Julie, but no response. Can you go and see? Tim went and said, oh, whatever bad news. This is how it happened. So what I'm saying, brothers and sisters in Christ, Julie Hill was an angel among us, but she has done her part, and she has left. What is next? That's what I'm going to say. For us, with the Lord one, the Lord girl, we have St. Andrews, we have Christ St. Luke, we have St. Paul, we have this church, we have Holy Church of Holy Apostle. Anne Martin is somewhere, Anne Martin. When we were struggling, yeah, she's right there. She was the one helping Julia and migration, everything. So what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, what can we do next? The Outreach Africa Lost Boy Foundation has touched so many, and each of you who is here has touched us in one way or another. What can we do to move it next? Is Anya here?
No.
Julie left Outreach Africa in the hand of a young lady called Anya. Anya was one of the volunteers helping back in the days. But now, it is we who are here now who will help to help Anya. So my appeal to all of us is like what Jerry mentioned. If we need more volunteers to keep Julie Hill's dream going. With the Lord boy we can do, but our struggle is continuous. Julie has been in every angle, medical, everything, you name it, were there. So all of us will not speak, but each of us has something to say. So, well, somebody in St. Andrews who was a Julie Hill babysitter, I think is here. Ruth, if you will let her say a piece of word, she was a Julie Hill babysitter.
Yes.
She's down there. So, me myself, I will not say more, but my appeal to all of us is what can we do? Let's help Africa Outreach Lost Boy Foundation to move ahead. We have a brother there, right there. Every time I go to Julie, I will, down. I'll meet him at the door, we'll talk about, and he always talk about how wonderful Julie is and everything, you know. And one time we talked like almost 30 minutes with him. You see, these were the people with Julie inside there. We have people like Katrina Smith, right there. During the day, hell of a lot, we'll go, we'll move around. And for Outreach Africa, we start with Mary, Angie, we move around, gathering, go to sing to the churches. So, brothers and sisters, I will not say, we have one brother here, and I think he's a friend of Julie Hill, and he will have a word to say later on. But for me, William, my message to all of you, we are still struggling. One, we still need your help. So may God bless you. And Julie Hill, was an angel to all of us. Much has been said, but her spirit will still be upon us. We lost the mother, we lost the grandmother, we lost the sister, we lost everything. We are back now in the sea of blues. That is the history putting us with the Lost Boy. We start again when we are in a certain level, it turns upside down. Now we are in the sea of blues. But among you, somebody will surface. They will take. We'll pray for you, Jerry. I was so happy to see last Sunday I came here with Yak, and we were told you were in the hospital. I was so sad. It is a God mission that you came until you said the right thing there for our Africa. We'll pray for you. We'll pray for him later.
Yes.
God has a mission. Sometimes God heal you to take the stone to the next level. We'll pray for you. May God bless you all, and thank you very much. My name is William Mayong.
My name's Debbie Stadlin, and I had the privilege of being Julie's friend and her attorney. We met maybe in 2013. I knew of Julie through the foundation. And then, when she wanted me to work with her, I was more than happy to do so. And in addition to the legacy of life and love that Julie leaves, she leaves also an amazing legacy of art. And I listened to a YouTube talk that Julie gave actually here on February 20th in 2022, which was 2 years ago. And in the talk, she discussed the miracles that had unfolded in her life that led her to her soul calling of working with the lost boys and girls. But what stood out for me in her story, because I'm also an artist, was a story she told of being invited when she was in the 8th grade. Julie and I went to middle school and high school together, but she was 2 years younger than me, so I really didn't know her, but we discovered a lot of, friends in common. So in the 8th grade, she went to a sleepover at the home of Lucy Holland. Lucy Holland was the daughter of Jerome Holland, who was the then president of Hampton Institute, now Hampton University. And she described the home as being the most refined she had ever seen, and that when they had dinner in the dining room, that every surface of the wall, the mantle, every tabletop was filled with African art. And I kind of think maybe that's where her African soul was ignited, because she really felt a strong identification with this art. So her legacy includes a significant and rare collection of African cultural artifacts, which are old pieces that were created by people of the Dinka, Nuer, Shilluk, and other tribes and cultures of Sudanese and South Sudanese origin. In her documents, she directed Yak. She says, I suggest, but if suggest is something Julie says. You don't say no to it. I suggest, but do not require, that these artifacts may be donated as a collection to a museum which will agree to house and put on permanent display this collection. I would not want the artifacts given to a museum that would only put it in a warehouse, or a museum that would sell these important artifacts. What happened next could be described by Julie as a miracle. In my faith, Judaism, I would say it's bashert, meaning meant to be, or having the fingerprints of divine providence. I made a phone call to Norfolk State University, and I was put through to Solomon I don't know how to say your last name. Solomon. I explained to him that what Julie's wishes were, and he explained that it aligned perfectly with what he is charged with for the development of a world-class African collection in a museum on the NSU campus. And this is a museum that's being built, will be completed by early 2028. The next day, Yak and I met at Julie's with Solomon. And I'm going to leave it to Solomon to further explain his reaction to Julie's collection, his vision, which most impressively includes a nearer-term exhibition and a weaving of Julie's and the Lost Boys story into the presentation of this art. And it's his inclusiveness, and you know, he wants the Lost Boys to tell their stories, and he wants to understand them. So, Solomon.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our president, Dr. Javon Adams-Gasting, and of our administration at Norfolk State University, faculty and staff, I want to extend our heartfelt condolences to Julie's friends, families, and close acquaintances. I've only heard about Julie for about 4 or 5 days now, and I feel like I know her. I feel like I know her spirit. So I thank you, Debbie. I thank you, Yak, for allowing me to be here today to speak a few words. My name is Solomon CKJ. I am the director of the Division of Fine Arts at Norfolk State University. Like Debbie said, we've started a collection of African arts in the last 10 years, and we've been amassing, this collection. So when she reached out to me and said, there's a collection you'd like me to look at, and I said, well, I'll be there tomorrow. And so I was there, I saw the collection, and I truly was astonished. The care, the way the pieces were kept, presented, told you so much about the collector. Immediately, I started thinking about who this woman really, was. I wanted to know a little bit about her story. I wanted to know why she collected these artworks. And then I heard about how she has taught so many lives. I was sitting here a few minutes ago. I was moved to tears because you can feel the depth of her life, in the words of everybody who's been here today. And I think that's what Norfolk State and myself are committed to do. First and foremost, we want to make sure that this collection is kept whole. It will never be sold. It will always be on display. But most importantly, we would like to tell the story of the person who collected these artworks and the lives that she has touched in so many ways. This collection will be used for everyday class instruction in art history, African art history, studio art. So it's a collection that would live on. So in essence, Julie will live on. We would see her work every day, and I'm sure that a lot of our students in years to come would want to write about her, will want to be a part of the work that she has done, and I'm sure that I'll be reaching out to each and every one of you at some point to share your perspective about Julie so we can better present her work to the world. Thank you.
Okay. I will call upon Stephanie Michelle. She's the wife of Angelo Maker. And Angelo Maker is watching her now. He's at Juba, South Sudan. Angelo is the founder of Abugloy, and he's one of us. He helped us through Outreach Africa Lost Boy Foundation. So welcome, Stephanie McHale.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie McKeer, Angelo Maker's wife. Angelo is actually on Zoom. He's in Juba, South Sudan. And I would like to say a few words about Julie. I met Julie back in 2003. Me and Angelo were dating back then. And when she pulled up to the apartment complex, she had an Sudan license plate on her car. I was like, who is this? But I wasn't expecting to see a white lady. I thought I was going to see a South Sudanese. She came out and she introduced herself to me, and she was like, oh, all right, so are you going to be Angelo's wife? I was like, I don't know. She was like, yes, you are. I was like, okay. I knew then she was a determined lady. Me and Julie been together, friends for a very, very long time. Me and Julie were friends, talked about a lot of things. She helped me to go to college. She encouraged me to push myself. Because nobody in my family ever went to college. And she talked to me and she said, Stephanie, you're gonna be the first to do a lot of things. And I was like, you don't even know me. She was like, no, I know what I see. And I see potential in you. So, she pushed me to go to school. And she pushed me and Angela to stay together. She was like, I'm not married. She was like, but I see love, and I know y'all gonna work. And we have Julie. We've been together for 17 years, 3 kids. And I have my master, Julie. And, sorry. The reason why I'm crying because Julie has helped me a lot. She was like my mom, even though I had a mom. Because Julie was educated. And she taught me how to speak. She was like, think before you speak, Stephanie. Because as soon as you walk into the room, the first thing people are going to see is your color. And they're automatically going to think differently. But you hold your head up. And you prove to them that you are worthy of this. That's why I'm an engineer, Julie. January the 15th, I'm an engineer planning analyst for the shipyard. And I'm the only black woman in my department. But I deserve it, like you said. She was so happy when I told her that. There's some things about Julie that nobody knows that I know. She would talk to me and we would talk about stars. Julie was all about stars. And she would talk to me about UFOs. Some things that people don't know. I told her when I grew up I want to be an astrologist. I want to look at stars. And she was like, well, you don't have to because you are one. She pushed me and Angela to do our school in South Sudan. We didn't have anything. And she helped us. And when I heard the news, I didn't go to work the next day because I felt like I lost a piece of my heart. But it's okay because I know she's with me. She'll always be with me, no matter where I go. And when I feel discouraged and I feel like I'm not worthy enough, I hold my head up and I know that she's saying, girl, you got this. Don't worry about it. Julie said she got a whole lot of people that turned doors on her and looked at her funny too. But she said, girl, you got that lion spirit, just like me. You're a fighter, Stephanie. And honestly, I was like, if Julie can be here with this different culture, not knowing the language, and still pushing and helping people, why can't I? I don't know how to speak the language. I've been to Africa, and we've been together, me and Angela have been together for a long time, and I still do the best I can to help with the community. Now that Julie's not here, I know she'll always be with us, all of us. Julie touched us in different ways, and I love her, and I always love her. And that's probably all I have to say. Thank you.
Well, there's been so much wonderful things said about Julia. But I've known Julia. I went to elementary school with her, to Armstrong Elementary. I went to Thorpe Junior High School with her. I graduated with her from Hampton High School of the class of '73. We just recently celebrated our 50th class reunion from Hampton High. That's why I am so shocked at all of this. But the outfit that she came in was absolutely gorgeous. It looked like a robe. I do have a copy of it on my phone. But she had a heart of gold. And I look at all these gorgeous faces and what people have said about her. I'm not surprised because I've known her for 50-some years. And it's just a wonderful thing. And I was just so shocked when I heard this had happened. When I just saw her and celebrated 50 wonderful years from high school. And, I just, don't know what to say, but, God had another purpose for her. But hopefully that her legacy will live on forever. And I'm sure it will, because, we need it. We need the love in this country. We need a lot of stuff. So, but I just wanted to say a little bit. Barbara and Lash back there that came in with me, her and I wanted to make sure that we were over here for this and that we brought us as far as from our high school and knowing that we just saw her, But God had other purpose, but hopefully now she's flying high and will fly high for a long time and we'll always keep her in our hearts. So that's all I've got to say, but thank you and God bless all of you and, she's done a remarkable job in what she's done. And you can hear that in all these voices. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Jim King, and I met Julie in 1982. And from get-go, it was like oil and water between her and I. She was so smart, and she needed to share all her knowledge with me. And I seemed to took a little offense to it. Maybe it's because I was a whole lot older than her, But anyway, we grew to love each other, and when we got the call from a lady by the name of Joan, are you here, Joan? No? Okay. They told us that Julie had passed away. Tim, which is actually, he was introduced earlier as Frank, we were just completely, and we still are. We're waiting for this to just be a dream, and it didn't really happen. You know what I mean? Because she, out of that 43 years, we did a lot together. I mean, we traveled up to New York City and partied and danced. Julie loved to dance, and she was a good dancer. And we traveled down to Florida and up and down the coast and just having different vacations together. And she just was, the right words to say, she always had to share her knowledge. So anyway, but we always had a good time. And one time up in DC, her and I fell into a huge fight in the middle of the street in DuPont Circle, and it pouring down raining. She got mad at me, I got mad at her, and we just let loose. So, but she's taken out my heart right now because she's meant that much to me in life.
And she loved to come to our house and eat. Oh my gosh. We had plastic containers in our pantry. When Julie left, all the plastic containers were gone. I said, Tim, or Frank, leave something for us. But Julie loved to eat, and then we sat at the dining room table, and Dixie be sitting right next to her, and they fight over the food at the table and wouldn't share with each other. It was all in play, mind you, but anyway. And the last time she was at our house was just before New Year's, and because y'all had mentioned how beautiful she was and everything. And we had a friend that also came to the party, and Julie walked in the room, and the friend says, "My God, you're beautiful," you know. So, well, that's it. I just want to let you know that we're missing her and we're loving her.
Hello, everybody. I'm Miriam, and I just want to say thank you. This is Beat. Ooh, it catches you. You just suddenly realize how this moment is. I'm a member of Christ in St. Luke's. I think William mentioned it, or maybe John mentioned. I was really excited because I had already done refugee work with various other people. But here we were at Christ in St. Luke's, and the opportunity came for us to take on and sponsor. We said we would sponsor 3 young men, lost boys from South Sudan. And there were 6 Episcopal churches that took on these young boys, and each of them took a various number. And St. Paul's took 3. And Jacques was at St. Paul's. I don't remember everybody at St. Paul's. And there was Matthias. There were 5 churches. And then we all, of course, we all met them. You've heard about how we met them. It was just wonderful. And we housed St. Paul's boys and the Christ and St. Luke's boys in an apartment right across from the Presbyterian Church, just off of Colley Avenue. And it was hot. And the boys didn't want to open the window. They were too scared or something, and it was so hot. But they were all set up with everything, and they said, you can have them. The World Church of Council says you have to take care of them for 3 months. So I think they must have provided us with some money, but at 3 months, how can you set them off and say, you're on your own? So of course, we have had people, there was a committee out of our group, and there was a man, Kelly Wood, who was wonderful, who turned out to be their American father, and he checked on them about their homework. He was very strong on that. And then, of course, William Mayhem is the leader. He has all the time. And St. Paul's has been great. Well, anyway, just to make it short, all our young men have gone on. John Lewis, who is at Christ in St. Luke's, he's in the Navy, and apparently Dame David, who had the bright then eyes, I just loved him when he came in on the second bow. He is now in Nebraska, and then we also have Dangawulu, who decided that he was going to go. He went back to Sudan, but in the meantime, he married this wonderful woman who was a lost girl. Her name was Rebecca Dang. And Rebecca has been like my daughter. And her 3 children are here with us today. And maybe you kids will stand up. I have watched these kids since they were born. Look, they're all scared to show you. They're deckers. Get up there and show yourselves. The tallest one is a dad. Sweet man. And they make me proud. This family has brought so much joy to my heart. and I just love them dearly. And Margot is like their mother too, and the two of us just look out for them for sure. So thank you all for coming, and I look forward to talking to you. Oh, the one thing I wanted to do, we have no access into Julie's computer. We don't know who the big list is, so I brought an address book. It's just a little plain black book. Please, will you, if you're interested in remaining connected with Outreach Africa, please sign your name and make it all legible. Emails, telephone numbers. We would love to have that and keep you connected with us. And also sign the guest book and leave some memories if you like. So happy to be here. I'm just so sad we are here. But I think God is with us and will keep with us for sure. Thanks, John.
She picked us up. She was one of those who picked us up in the airport when we came here.
It's fun to stay connected with children and with these young boys. They have brought joy and expanded my life much more than I ever dreamed of. Thank you.
My name is Dick. I've been a pastor for over 40 years, and I met a lot of people during that time. And one thing about Julie stands out above and beyond all the other people that I ever met. It was at a time when she was struggling for finances to meet the needs of the people she loved. And she told me she was going to go to the bank and to her safety deposit box to get the family jewels to sell them so that she could meet those needs. And that's what inspired me to become a monthly contributor. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak? Anybody else? Okay, well, I thought for the end of our service now, what we do is have a little quiet time, and just this is a good time for us all silently to pray for Julie, and she's beginning a new life on the other side, and so we want to wish her Godspeed. And so if we can all just be silent for a minute or so, and let's just say our goodbyes to Julie. And so, Julie, we want you to know we all love you dearly. And we're so thankful for the gift of your life to all of us. Lord, we thank you for now taking Julie into your arms and comforting and guiding her. We know that in your presence, she is safe, and that she has a wonderful future ahead of her on the other side. And all we can say is thank you, Julie. Thank you, amen. Now we're going to close with a song sung to us by the deacons. Come on up.
So the song said, in the upcoming life, we will meet again. As this is not a goodbye. As we all know, we are here, but we will leave one day. This world is not ours, but the heaven is ours. So one day we will meet with Julie. Thank you all.
Perfect words to end the service. I have a note given to me to remind everyone about a couple of things. Number one, we have a donation basket back there to remind you of that. So please be generous in helping this organization at this time. And also, Jerry had passed out some notes here for people that are wishing like to be on the board. Please sign that if you're at all interested, or in any way you want to help with the Outreach Africa. And it's up to us now to keep it going, all of us in this room. And then lastly, the note, the email list that this lady, I forgot your name, was asking us to sign that, so we got her emails. Got all the emails of everybody. I think that's all the announcements. So now we get to celebrate, and some wonderful desserts and food in the back. And hasn't this been a wonderful service? Yes. Wow. And so God bless you, and God bless you, Julie. What a great send-off we've had today. Thank you. Amen.